The engine startup procedure will be now presented. Please pay attention.
Chief, turn on ground power.
Copy. Ground power connected.
Chief, connect ground air supply.
Copy. Ground air supply connected.
Close canopy.
Copy. Canopy closed. Pre-start checklist complete. We are ready for startup. Set the engine crank switch to left position. The combined hydraulic system pressure and the aircraft auxiliary and parking brake pressure accumulators should rise. Set the engine crank switch back to off position. Set the engine crank switch to right position. The combined hydraulic system pressure and the aircraft auxiliary and parking brake pressure accumulators should rise again. Set the engine crank switch to off position. Unguard the emergency flight hydraulic switch. Set the switch to low position. On the hydraulic pressure indicators, check that the on flag is present on the low indicator. Move the stick and the pedals and check the movement of rudder and horizontal control surfaces. Set the emergency flight hydraulic switch to high position. Now on the hydraulic pressure indicators, the on flag should be present on the high indicator. Move the stick and the pedals and check the movement of rudder and horizontal control surfaces. It should have a deflection rate greater than in low setting. Set the emergency flight hydraulic switch to auto position. On the hydraulic pressure indicators, the off flags should be present on the low and high indicators. Move the guard down. Turn on the MFDs, rotating the knobs. Set engine crank switch to right to start up the right engine. Check FLT pressure rise and the RPM rise on the analog indicator and on the MFD. When the RPM reaches the 20%, move right throttle to idle position. The engine crank switch is solenoid held in position automatically until engine reaches 50% RPM. On the caution advisory panel, the RGen caution turns off at around 59% RPM. And the R fuel press caution turns off at idle RPM. Control on the relative indicators that the readout values are achieved. Now the combined hydraulic line will be enabled.
Chief, disconnect ground power.
Copy. Ground power disconnected.
Set the engine crank switch to left position. When the combined hydraulic pressure reaches 3,000 pounds per square inch on the hydraulic pressure indicator, return the switch to off. Set the hydraulic transfer pump switch to normal. And verify that combined hydraulic pressure stay fixed. Set the hydraulic transfer pump switch to shut off. Set engine crank switch to left to start up the left engine. Check the RPM rise on the analog indicator and on the MFD. When the RPM reaches the 20%, move left throttle to idle position. The engine crank switch is solenoid held in position automatically until engine reaches 50% RPM. On the caution advisory panel, the L-gen caution turns off at around 59% RPM. And the L-fuel press caution turns off at idle RPM. Control on the relative indicators that the readout values are achieved. Now, the engines are working and the ECS can operate independently. The ground air supply can be disconnected.
Chief. Disconnect ground air supply.
Copy. Ground air supply disconnected.
Select LENG for left engine as air source. Select RENG for right engine as air source. Select both ENG for both engine as air sources. Set the ABOG's master switch to on to apply power to the oxygen generator. Set the hydraulic transfer pump switch to normal. And move the guard down. Now ask to remove the ground safety pins from the nose landing gear.
Chief. Remove the ground safety pins.
Copy. Ground safety pins removed and stowed.
Startup complete. We are ready to take off.